Hi, I'm Monty McCutchen. I'm here today with Steve Smith, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, and we're going to go over some of the freedom of movement principles, what's legal, what's not legal, and the tipping point that takes us to a whistle when we do something that's not legal. We're going to specifically talk about impedes, reroutes, dislodges, and extensions of the arms, remembering that everything we talk about today with defense also applies to offensive players. Let's start with pick and roll to show the freedom of movement. I'm going to start here in a denial position. Good legal contact is forearm to forearm, body to body, where we're not dislodging or impeding. As Sharif goes to set the pick, I'm going to come in behind with this legal forearm. Now here's where it gets dicey. As the defender, I want to show. I understand that. But we have to make a choice. A tactile touch is legal. As I come out to show, that would be legal. What tips it over to illegal is that when I come up and want to show, I also want to wrap to prevent Sharif from being able to slip it, which is how you beat a switching defense. That's what we have to watch for as officials. To reiterate, we want body-to-body contact, we want tactile touch, and we want to make a choice between showing and or staying with the picker. When we decide to do both show and wrap, that's when it becomes illegal. One of the things we wanted to cover today was ball denial. When we're body to body like this kind of defense is excellent. It's legal. I've got a forearm, I'm in contact, I'm not grabbing or wrapping. When it goes to illegal though is when I'm showing and I'm also holding here. And remember, it doesn't have to be Sharif moving. Once I have the wrap around, it becomes illegal as soon as that arm pauses on the hip.
And Monty, I have a question.
Yeah,
if he's stationary, you still can't
Even
have
if
the wrap.
he's stationary, what it does is it takes this step out away from him, and it allows me to control whether Sharif maybe wants to spin off of that for an alley-oop. If I'm holding there, that's when it goes to illegal. One of the biggest parts of our game in the NBA today is pin downs. So Steve is going to be the receiver of the pin down. A screen is coming for him. If I get up over the top, this forearm to forearm body contact is legal. But what I don't want is this upward movement, and then I want to hold that back cut, which means if Steve tries to back cut, I've already got him wrapped. And that's how I can stay in both sides of the play. Anytime you're running body to body, it's legal to have this contact. What's not legal is when I reroute Steve to a more disadvantageous position. Steve wants that ball at the elbow because he's so good. But what I want is Steve out here.
Question, Monty, as an offensive player,
That's right.
You're doing everything legal. You're here. Say we're in fast mode,
Yep.
and I stop.
So if you stop on your line, I'm trailing you, stop. I run over you, defensive foul, all right? If, however, you're running and I'm to the side and you jump in front of me to stop, that's an offensive foul. And you're coming and I'm over here and then you just jump off and take my path off, that can be an offensive foul. Or I'll be the offense this time. You're trailing me, everything's good, I don't stop, but I come back into you. That is an offensive foul. The other thing that we want is that if we're going to get our defensive players legal and we're not going to have all the wrapping or the two-handed grab here, then we can't have Steve taking two hands to the chest to get open. We've got to penalize that equally. So in the post, there are both legal and illegal moves, of course. At this angle, from where Steve is, I'm often going to deny, all right? And denying is the same thing as we talked about denying at the elbow. I can't then wrap to prevent that reverse pivot.
What are you allowed to do now if I get a better angle right here?
If I want to front, I got to use the feet.
Okay.
All right? If I'm going to play behind, you come in and you want that lower position. Here's what's allowed. I'm allowed a forearm. I'm allowed a forearm and a bent arm in the back.
Okay.
A bent arm. The off arm cannot go to the hip to take that curl away. All right? I'm allowed a leg in between his legs. I'm not allowed for that forearm to create new territory or to have this leg lifted up and turn that 60% shot into a 48% shot or whatever that advantage might be.
So you can't dislodge me?
I cannot dislodge you. Thanks for watching. We hope this clarified with Steve and Sharif's help what is legal and illegal when it comes to freedom of movement.